Welcome to Bike World, welcome to southern Spain, welcome to Triumph's new Speed Twin 900, now called the Speed Twin 900, not just the Speed Twin. Now the engine and the platform remains near enough the same, even though it's now Euro 5 compliant and there's a full new exhaust system. The rest of the bike though is very different. So if we go from the front backwards really quickly, we've got a lighter front wheel, improved brakes, upside down forks, new clocks, improved rider aids, now traction control is lean sensitive and so is the ABS, new suspension at the back, lighter rear wheel, shorter swinging arm, which is lighter, different subframe, higher seat, lower pegs. As you can tell, it's going to be a busy day. But we've got 150 kilometers to do today in absolute perfect conditions. So let's see how good the Speed Twin is on the road. Good morning, welcome to southern Spain, welcome to the launch of Triumph's new Speed Twin 900. So new bike for 2025, same familiar parallel twin platform engine, but now Euro 5 Plus, so that's new exhaust and new fueling, but the same power, same torque as before. If I remember rightly, it's like 80 Newton pounds of torque below 4,000 RPM. So an incredible amount of torque for what is kind of like a middleweight entry-level modern classic. A lot of the changes to the bike is cosmetically. So lots of changes to the fuel tank, the side panel, the clocks. You now got the big digital middle clock rather than the two analog. New headlight, new colours that look beautiful. And then underneath that, you've got new electronics. So that's the new lean sensitive ABS, lean sensitive traction control. Then additionally we've got new suspension, upside down forks at the front by Marzocchi I believe, new twin shocks on the rear, upgraded single disc brake, we have lighter wheels, we have a sportier stance, a shorter wheelbase, we've got a new subframe which means the seat height has actually gone up a little. Pegs have gone down a little to make it more roomy, but the subframe is narrower, so it should be still easy to get 2 feet on the ground. That's what I mean. When you start looking at what's changed, okay, the engine is still the same, but near enough every other component is new for 2025. We've got 155 kilometers to do today. 19 degrees. Feels a bit fresh, but it's nice. And yeah, we're just going to enjoy the bike at a fairly leisurely pace, he says. But we'll see how that changes later. So new for 2025 is cornering ABS and cornering traction control, which has just been beautifully demonstrated. And that we've got it from a dry corner into a wet corner. And everything has got, so we've got an IMU, which means everything is monitored, so we know how far the bike's leant over, we know how much brake pressure to apply, we know what gear we're in, throttle position. So essentially, with the lean sensitive traction, you've just got this massive safety net, and I guess this bike is appealing to new and inexperienced riders because it's the 900 street twin and not the big 1200. And when you've got conditions like this, which is, you know, it's lovely, it's 18 degrees, but you can see the wet and damp, see, dry into damp. And we have got 80, I think it's 80 Newton meters of torque. We've got a lot of torque from low down. So why wouldn't you have lean sensitive traction and lean sensitive ABS? Well, you can feel it working a bit then.
You see what I mean, like the road surfaces?
Yeah, especially this.
Yeah.
You feel the,
It's like that all the way now.
when you come out the hotel, when you went down, even down that little hill, I just jumped on the front and you could feel the ABS work.
A lot of people said that. Yeah, it's funny you picked up on that because I've not felt it. I've probably not to add to Amron, you not running into me, but a few people said it kicks in.
Yeah. Not so much later on, but the first 3 miles, I was just,
Yeah,
you know,
at
those
the
little,
hotel, yeah.
yeah, I was just breaking every, and it was like,
Yeah.
but it's a pretty,
Nimble.
yeah.
This is a little bit better, so you need the traction and the ABS. It's still cold, so the grip isn't brilliant. The front end's a 18, not 17, which is more for style than anything else. But the wheelbase has been shortened. We've got less unsprung weight because the swinging arm is lighter, the wheels are lighter. But overall weight is the same, because they've added beefier, bigger forks. They've added all those electronics and rider aids. So the weight is the same, but unsprung mass is less because the wheels are lighter. But it's interesting that they've tried to make it sporty by shortening the wheelbase and giving it a lighter swinging arm and lighter wheels and much better brakes, even though it's still a single disc. Well, they could have cheated and just put a 17-inch front wheel on it. But then with a 17-inch front wheel, it wouldn't have looked good, because this style of bike requires a 18-inch front wheel. It's so much better now. We've got a little bit of heat. Oops. Sorry. Oops, sorry. Oops, sorry. Jeez, there's not going to be any pegs left.
Welcome to the end of a pretty relaxed and enjoyable day. Now, normally at Bike World, me and Chris enter some kind of dangerous riding competition, whether it's me on track or we're riding on the road, or Chris is 8 deep in mud in Wales enjoying himself and trying to not get his hair wet. But we tend to push the bikes to the limit and then give you a verdict on how the bikes are in an extreme environment. But this one's a little bit different. This one's been a little bit more relaxing, a little bit more enjoyable, and especially even more so that we're a few days away from Christmas and I get to ride bikes like this in beautiful sunshine. We've tried to ride the bike as it was designed. There was a few times where we wound it on a little bit, tried to push it a little bit, pegs started to tickle the road a little bit, and you can get towards the limitation, but it's an entry-level modern classic at price just over £9,000. That's what we're expecting. But if you ride the bike like it was designed, like we have done for the majority of this test, it's hugely rewarding and easy to ride. Peak torque is just below 4,000 RPM, and I think I just rode it between 3 and 5 for the majority of the day. And to be honest, I don't actually know where the red line is because I haven't got anywhere near it. It's not precision sharp. You kind of roll it into corners. It's quite leisurely, it's quite easy, it's quite soft, it's very forgiving. If this was a dog, it'd be like one of those old Labradors that you see in a pub in front of a fire that spent all its life drinking Guinness and smells a bit. It's just relaxed, it's just easy, it's just lovely and easy going. If you dump the clutch in first, it'll wheelie. If you want to have some fun, it can do. There is a limit and you can get to that. There are quality Michelin rubber, so you've got plenty of grip, and you have got that cornering ABS, and you have got that cornering traction control. But once you start to tickle the pegs, once you start to push the handling, it does feel a little bit soft, but there is preload adjustment on the rear, nothing on the front. But if you start riding it like that, you kind of have to ask questions. Have I bought the right bike? And maybe I should have gone for the 1200 or the 1200 RS. But as a kind of entry-level 900cc, 65 horsepower, middleweight classic, it does everything it's supposed to do. I really enjoyed the previous bike. I remember doing that launch in Portugal. I think we were down in Faro, and I just came away from it going, that's just an easy-going, nice entry-level bike. And what Triumph have done is just made it a little bit sportier, improved the looks, kept it really neat, kept it really clean, but give us extra rider aids, which those new, young, or inexperienced riders want, which is the cornering ABS and the cornering traction control. A little bit different for us at Bike World to just take it steady and just relax a little bit, but hugely enjoyable to do so. This has always been a good seller for Triumph, and I think it's going to continue. The majority of these bikes that leave the showroom are riddled in accessories. I think over 90% of the bikes leave a showroom non-standard. And it's going to be interesting to see what people do and how they personalize the bike. Because in these colors, I don't think it really needs anything. I think it looks fantastic as it is. And maybe at Bike World, if we get the opportunity, we'll ignore Chris and me and Al will just take it steady. We'll get some of the competition together. Just have a nice leisurely ride. If you've got any questions about the bike, you want to know any more detail, anything specific like the size of the front disc and why it's not got 2 discs and only 1 disc, which is more than capable and more than satisfactory, or you want to know what the wheelbase is now or how many grams they've saved per wheel, which I think is 100,
then do fire the questions below, and me, Al, or Chris will get back to you.